Alright, so today I'm making baseboard covers for my aunt. She called me the other day. She's got 3 or 4 she wanted me to do, so figured I'd try. I've never done baseboard covers before. I'll make them fancy, a lot of detail and whatnot. So first thing I did, I went to Lowe's, got some 4x8 sheets of MDF. My buddy came by yesterday. We cut them in half just so they're more manageable. A sheet of MDF is about 100 pounds, so it's hard to run to the table saw by yourself. So the first thing I did, I took her measurements from her house yesterday. So my length is 68 inches for the first baseboard, so I already got that lined up. Let me cut it. Set the depth to my saw about a 1.25 inches, something like that. MDF's only 3/4. The problem with MDF, it's great stuff, but it makes a ton of dust. A lot of people have those straight edges they lay their saws in. I've been doing this for a long time. That freehand cut is mint. It's not my first day, as they say. Alright, my sides are going to be 2 1/4 pieces. So that's your face. Put that over there for a minute. I'll have to make some pieces 2 1/4 to the side. Let's see, it's a nice straight edge on that one. Mark 2 1/4, top and bottom. The old square, the old pencil mark, flat out. Like a surgeon with a circular saw. So I purchased these metal grates at Lowe's as well. I just kind of place them, measure to the sides, and try to find a nice equal point where to set them. I obviously have to cut behind that. They're going to set in a recessed cut so the heat can come out. So I figure I'm going to go about 7 3/8 from both sides. I'll have like a 6-inch centerpiece, and I think about 3 1/4 from the top, 3 1/4 from the top. Because at the bottom I'm going to cut like a little hole out, you know, and run it, just kind of give it more of a better look as well. And then after, these are all going to be trimmed. I'm going to trim the outsides just to add some detail to them. There's no real plans for this. I'm just kind of winging it, you know, figuring it out as I go. It always comes out nice though. So I'm going to go get the old Swanson square here. Lay that in this number perfect. Again, this is going to run the full length of the baseboard, so I want it to be mint. Line up with my existing line and my 3-inch mark. I should be gravy. Yeah. So for the box of my nails, good old Talenti Gelato. It's good for holding nails. So that's your radius. See that? Line up one side with one mark, one side with the other mark, and trace it. There's your radius. I don't need no fancy jigs or all this craziness they be selling at these stores now. Beautiful. Same on this side. Gotta keep it old school sometimes. Use what you got. I have 17,000 tools in my shed. I don't want any more tools. I'm lying, I want all the tools. Okay, so I raised it up a little bit. I clamped it so it won't slide on me. MDF is real smooth. Sometimes it might kick off on you. Again, it's 3/4, so I'm gonna set my blade to about 1 1/8 inches. All right, and again, I'm cutting the inside line that I made. The outside line was the outside length of the grates, and we want it to sit within this little recess. So I'm cutting inside that recess, so there's a little bit of meat where that grate can sit on the outside. All right, all those cuts are made. Now I'm just gonna clean it up with the old jigsaw. Make this little angle right there. and clean up all these corners that I couldn't run the saw through because it would have, you know, went in more into the MDF. So let it fly. Alright, so that's the bit that I'm going to use. Again, I'm only going to go maybe like an 1/8 down. You know what I mean? Recess that. See how it's going to look. So the grate sits in there. It's going to be nice. Alright, safety first, right? So I got my glasses, my router, my MDF. Time to go to town. The speed's about 4 on my router. I don't need too much horsepower. It's just barely grazing the MDF. Great, see what it looks like if I gotta clean up a little bit. Alright, so that fits there. Gotta take a little bit off the top. Alright, so now I'm putting on the back legs of these radiator covers. I already pre-cut this earlier. It's like 2 1/4 or something. Again, this is all specific to her actual application for her house. So what I'm gonna do is I figured I'd pre-drill 3 holes. I put some of these 1 1/4, yeah, 1 1/4 drywall screw just to give it some security, and then I'll put some trim nails in there after. Again, I got a countersink bit on that. I want the screw heads to be a little bit below the top of the MDF, so I'll put some filler in there after before I paint it. And also, this is 3/4 MDF, so half of 3/4 is 3/8. So I measured 3/8 in to get me the exact point, 3/8, 3/8, to get right in the middle of that leg right there. And here we go. Keep that lined up, drill right down in there. Like above. Put this bad boy right there. Make sure it's still lined up nice. So that leg's locked in actually beautifully. Turn it around, do it on the other side. Alright, so I'm making the overhang for the top. I figured I'll go 3/4 overhang all the way around in this thing. I'm gonna get my OG bit and run an OG along the side and the top on this piece just to get a little bit of character. Alright, so I got my router on 4. I'm gonna slowly get into it. Again, you wanna do a couple of passes, you don't wanna get all in all at once. You know, let the router kind of work into it. Nice and flat. What we got? Alright. Nice OG profile along that, and this will be upside down, so you will see it like that on the piece. Alright, now I'm laying out where I'm going to pre-drill my holes. I went 3 inches in on both sides. I got a mark right in the direct middle, and then I got a mark in the middle of each grate. So that'll be 5 screws in it. Alright, so I laid the grates in. They sit nice. They're right where I wanted them, just below the face of the cover. So I got my brad nailer. I put 3/4 brads in there. First thing I'm going to do is cut a 45 on it. Alright, and I said my number is going to be 23, so I like that. Usually I put the end of my trim right on the end of my table. Works out good. Boom. Then I got I can kind of hook on the table, you know what I mean? It's all lined up. 45. Alright, and line this cut up. Trim nails in here. Just gonna put 3 nails in it. Again, check my line. The rest of these are going to be in line with that, so I just want to get a little bit of glue in there. Again, I could have glued here, but maybe I will. Why not? So a little bit of glue there, and then I'll just run a little strip. Nice. And then we'll shoot it. Well, I can't stress enough the importance of proper prep and finish work before you want to stain or paint your product that you built, shelving, furniture, whatever that may be. We all hate this step, but applying a proper caulk, proper putty, gluing all your miters before nailing them, those steps are so important, especially living in New England. There's drastic temperature changes throughout the year, not to mention humidity changes throughout the year. So you spend all this time building a beautiful piece of furniture or something and woodwork, only to not prep it properly. 6 months to a year from now, it's moving on you, expanding, contraction, just looking like crap. You're not happy, the customer's calling you back. So again, I can't stress it enough. So the prep work's all done. Now comes the paint. I got a satin finish. I always use a pretty paintbrush. To me, they've always been the best. Just start going through it. Start with all the tight areas first, all the trim areas, if you will. And after this, I'll go through with the little 3-inch roller. So I cut all the tight spaces and all the trim with my 2-inch angled brush. Now I got a little 4-inch foam roller. It's a very smooth mat. Again, this is MDF, so I don't need any real nap on my brush. Just lay it on smooth. Again, this is my initial base coat. I'll probably be doing 2 more. See how my second coat looks.